Right now, today, Wemby is one of the top 5 skilled players in the NBA. I said it right now.
Best prospect we've seen since LeBron James.
If you're not ready, this kid's gonna be.
He's a problem, huh? You saw him.
His skill set. I mean, his skill set is nice. I mean, there's like usually you have potential, and then you have people that just are skilled. He's skilled.
Victor Wembanyama just had the worst season of his playing career, and that is going to be a big problem for the league. With Steph Curry sensing cheat code vibes and KD warning that the NBA is in serious trouble, is it safe to say that the legends are already terrified? Heading into the season, everyone had their eyes on the Spurs. The selection of Wembanyama with the first pick in the 2023 NBA draft meant that people would put the team under a microscope, as Wemby was the most hyped-up prospect in the draft since LeBron James in 2003. Wemby's performance so far has been trailed by different reactions. Some people say he's the next best thing, while others believe he might drown in the hype. But what do the legends think of this 7'5" guy? Is he bulletproof? Or is the hype going to be short-lived? It turns out there's only one way to find out. In the basketball world, there are players, there are legends, and then there's Victor Wembanyama. And nah, it's not his height that makes him generational. It's how he plays with it. Quick feet and hands, a high release like Kevin Durant, paint moves like Joel Embiid, coupled with elite defense. He's obviously under a lot of pressure, especially considering he's just 20. It's hard to think he can keep up for so long, unlike players like Ben Simmons and Andrew Wiggins, who gave in to the pressure at a young age. So I bet that's the reason why everyone wasn't buying into the hype. But Wemby didn't seem fazed whatsoever, even though people doubted he could make an efficient use of his body.
By the way, it's not necessarily a strength thing. It's also leverage because he is so tall that guys can get kind of lower than him and knock him off his position.
See, Wemby is listed at 7'4", and in this century, we've only had 2 players 7'1" or taller impact the league. Yao Ming and Kristaps Porzingis, both with career-altering injuries. Of course, Wemby knew the stats weren't in his favor, so he took extreme measures to prevent that. Wemby had a target, a focus, perhaps that's what you call a dream, and he was willing to go all out to become the first rookie All-Star in 13 years. But soon enough, he realized the true nature of the NBA. The alien finished the season averaging over 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks. There are only 9 other players in NBA history to ever have that stat. Not in their rookie season, no, in their career, and all 9 were Hall of Famers. But that isn't possible without what makes Wemby so special. And to get there, we need to look at the rivalry that might as well remain in the NBA airwaves until one of the characters falls off the chart. It all started in his preseason debut against his old rival, Chet Holmgren. Just so you know, Wemby and Holmgren were very familiar with each other's games well before either of them played in the NBA. However, the league is only amplifying the rivalry, which could turn out to be really interesting. What sets these two apart is their unique combination of skill, size, and set, and still developing physiques. Chet is listed at 7'1" and 195 pounds, while Wemby comes in at 7'4" and 210 pounds. Both are wildly skilled for players of their size and inexperience. But when they met at the preseason debut, Wemby came up with a lot of grudges after what happened at the U19 World Cup final. Heading into the game, NBA scouts and fans already had an idea of what kind of player Holmgren was. At the time, he was considered the best high school prospect in the country and the potential #1 pick in the 2022 draft. Meanwhile, the hype was only starting to build for Wemby, who was already considered a generational prospect and future #1 pick in 2023. Now, the United States and France were in the World Cup final, and Wemby was dominating, with 22 points, 8 boards, and 8 blocks, and even had 2 dunks over Holmgren. But he fouled out with a little under 3 minutes left in the game, and the US pulled off a 2-point win. And to make matters worse, Holmgren took home the gold and the tournament MVP. You could tell that the French kid was pissed, because the look here pretty much sums up how he felt. So it was personal in the preseason. When the duo matched up, Wemby went right through him and flexed. Why? Come on, man. These two were already rivals. And once up there, they would ball out for Rookie of the Year. After one of his worst games on November 14th and losing the top rookie spot, Victor would eventually find his groove, but then he let it slip away. Wemby wasn't living up to the hype, and there was Chet proving to be the actual rookie sensation. Chet led the OKC to destroy teams and hit a game winner against the Warriors. By mid-November, they jumped to second place. That same week, the Spurs and Thunder faced off for the first time. The skinny French kid scored 8 points but had 5 turnovers, which pundits described as his worst game of the year. Things couldn't have been better for Chet as he won Rookie of the Month for November and December, but then it took a turn for the worse. Wemby would be on a minute restriction due to some accidental injuries, like stepping on a ball boy and tweaking his ankle. His ankle was already bad, so he missed a few games early on, and he was only allowed to play under 30 minutes a game, while Chet had much more playing time. Of course, everything seemed to be against Wemby, and it appeared he would be a bust long before critics predicted. But how did he manage to take back Rookie of the Year? Now, here's the crazy part. Wemby has never been the type to complain. It's only normal for certain factors, including injury, to take a toll on a player's career. But what's not normal is complaining, and worse still, remaining at that level, and that's something Wemby wasn't going to do. In mid-season on January 25th, when Holmgren hit a 3, Wemby drives right through him and
goes quick against Holmgren and slammed it home.
In that entire game, Wemby went right at him. The dude was so eager to check into the game that he jumped the gun, and the ref told him to wait. He just wanted to match up against his rival. He finished the game with 24 points, 12 rebounds, 4 blocks, and everything more than Chet, but he still ended up losing. However, Wemby didn't let that put out his fire, because towards the end of the season against OKC, Wemby hit a clutch 3, stared down the bench, then blocked Chet and went ballistic. This means a lot to him. There's a fire. He wants to show that he's the best, and it's not just Chet. It's the kind of never say die attitude that earned him one of the highest praises anyone, and I mean literally anyone, can get from Coach Pop.
He's made me understand that he has those Tim Duncan qualities of innate basketball IQ and a fire that he wants to be the best.
While most players are getting overwhelmed, Wemby has a hunger to go against the best players in the league. Because when he matched up with KD, he came with the mindset, you dunk, I dunk better. To the point that after the game, KD was like,
he didn't do much handling the ball or one-on-one action or posting us up. He just kept the game simple, and that's what great players do.
Wemby is built to absorb the pressure, but perhaps one of the telling moments was when Dillon Brooks decided to trash talk him. Now, Dillon is a guy with a lot of hate, no doubt, but what he said about Vic is just unbelievable.
What was some of your major takeaways from seeing Wemby for the first time in person?
He's tall. That's really it.
Just tall, huh? Well, 2 weeks later, Wemby executed a reverse dunk on Jabari Smith, and Brooks gave him that crazy look. He simply proved a point that he's not giving any little edge to anyone. Call him petty, and you may not be wrong. But if that's going to get the job done, then so be it. Wemby's always at 110%, as we can trace it back to one specific moment. The moment the world knew Wemby was him came before the season even started, when we saw those stretching flexibility videos. It's pretty obvious that this guy wants to be able to do anything without the fear of injury, so he's taking care of it early. I mean, he has the mentality of a GOAT, but will it happen?
Like Wemby, I mean, his skill set is nice. I mean, there's, like usually you have potential, and then you have people that just are skilled. He's skilled. Like, from here, he just needs reps, right? Playing in the NBA system, going, night in and night out to see what he can do versus what type of players. But the skill set is already there. He has the skill. It's like a 7'6" Kevin Durant type. He just needs to polish it up, but that takes years.
Well, I guess nothing illustrates this guy more than when he had a 5x5 game, becoming the 15th player ever to do it. He did it against LeBron and the Lakers, scoring 27 points, 10 rebounds, and also blocking LeBron, to which LJ even said he doesn't have a ceiling. Wemby became only the second player to have consecutive 5 blocks and 5 steals. And when he asked how he felt to be in this exclusive club with Michael Jordan, he said, "I wonder if he did it in wins." Now, if you look at his stats from the first 2 months to the rest of the season, everything went up except for fouls. He started scoring 4 more points, had better playmaking abilities, and averaged nearly 4 blocks a game while fouling less. Even defensively, Wemby was the anchor. He figured out how to be more effective as the season went on, and it showed. When you sit and analyze the season, it's hard to believe just how many moments of greatness we had in a rookie season. We saw how many stars acknowledged his greatness, and the haters were silenced.
I mean, he's out here putting up numbers from 3 like you.
Yeah, he's like the 2K creative player. Like every point guard that wants to be 7 foot, cheat code type vibes, but he's a solid talent. It's great to watch. They had a pretty entertaining game with the Ignite team.
A little bit different because for one, he out there looking like a 7'5" KD. He looking like a cross between Giannis and KD. When I seen him go up over did you see that one move where he went up over the whole team and dunked it? And who was that? Was that Mark Bryant? Thomas Bryant? Was looking. And he looked up like,
that's the look. That's the look.
But think about it, by the sheer stats, don't you think Wemby should be Defensive Player of the Year? Cause, I mean, the most blocks per game, the most blocks and steals combined literally changed the Spurs. Victor Wembanyama lived up to the hype, and the pundits are predicting that this is just the beginning. So what's next? What will he do that he hasn't already done? And if it has to be done, how is he going to make it even better?